Spot. Ein Wahnsinn!
Usain Bolt just dropped a stunning revelation that could have changed the entire course of sprinting history. The legendary 100-meter world record holder rarely completed if it made him the fastest man alive. The Jamaican icon has finally shared the incredible secret behind his decision to run the 100 meters. And it wasn't about destiny or natural ability, it was simply a bet with his coach that nearly went the other way. In a jaw-dropping confession on the latest episode of the Ready, Set, Go podcast, alongside Justin Gatlin and Rodney Bolt, revealed that his iconic 100-meter career, the 3 Olympic gold medals, the 9.58 world record, the global superstardom all hinged on a single race and a daring wager he made with Coach Glen Mills back in 2007. It was just a bet. Bolt explained, immediately shocking his podcast co-hosts. A bet that created history, Green exclaimed in response.
Mills to let you run the 100 because you ran 10:03 at the end of 07.
It was just a bet, bro. It was just a bet.
It was a bet.
Yeah.
a bet created history's best ever runner ever.
Yo.
The Bombshell announcement came when Bolt detailed how his coach initially pushed him toward the 400-meter event, which Mills believed would complement Bolt's natural 200-meter abilities. But the young Jamaican sprinter, already dreading the punishing training regimen required for the longer distance, proposed a high-stakes challenge that would alter the landscape of athletics forever, Bolt said.
After the World Championship of Soccer, we were talking about what we need to do, and he goes, yo, you need to get in the gym, and you also need to run another event. And he wanted me to do the 400 meters. I was like, Coach, I'm not doing the 400 meters. And he goes, nah, you have to do the 400 because it's going to help you 200 meters.
This is where Bolt made the career-defining proposition. I said, all right, let's make a bet. Let me run 100 meters. If I run fast, I run 100 meters. If I run slow, I run the 400 meters. The most shocking part, Mills accepted the bet, fully expecting Bolt to perform poorly in the shorter distance. But he thought I was going to run slow, Bolt admitted with a grin.
I was like, all right, let's make a bet. Let me run 100 meters. If I run fast, I run 100 meters. If I run slow, I run the 400 meters. But I thought he thought I was going to run slow.
The fateful race took place in Greece, with Bolt and American sprinter Wallace Spearman discussing beforehand what would constitute a fast enough time.
I'll never forget, me and Wallace was actually in that race. It was in Greece. And me and him were talking, and we were like, yo, I just want to get to 10-1. If I can get to 10-1, I think that's quick enough. And he was like, you run 10-1, that's excellent. You know?
When the starting gun fired, history hung in the balance. Bolt needed to impress not just to win the individual race, but to avoid being confined to the 400 meters for his entire career. The result, a blistering 10.03 seconds that convinced Mills to let his protege pursue the 100 meters.
When I ran 10:03, I was like,
You
can't say no.
We here. The math is mathing.
Because then it was 9.8, 9.7. You know what I mean? Everybody was running a regular 9.9. It wasn't like consistently 9.8, 9.7. So he was like, okay. And that's how I.
But wait, there is more. The most stunning twist in this revelation, Bolt's admission of what would have happened had he run just slightly slower.
I got into it. If I had run like 10.2, I would be running 400 meters, bro.
He stated matter-of-factly, this single moment, this fraction of a second, completely altered the trajectory of athletic history. That's crazy, Gatlin responded in disbelief.
10-2 would have changed history's
Yeah.
events of what we would have been talking
That
about
one
right now.
moment.
Exactly.
In time, when the gun went off,
Yeah.
if he would have ran 10:22,
Yeah.
we'd have been seeing a 400-meter bolt instead of a
Exactly.
100-meter
Bolt confirmed that his career path would have been dramatically different.
I'll
bolt.
be running 400.
That's
I would have been
crazy.
good too, but I hate the training, bro.
So you think you, well, I mean, I think so too. I think most of the world thinks so too. You would have been in the rare air of that power pack, small group of 9 seconds, 19, and sub 44. So
I wouldn't have gotten the 100 though. My coach wouldn't allow me.
Yeah,
to
he
do
would
it.
never ran the
I would
100
have never
ever
run
again after
100.
wow,
You would have never
crazy.
seen me in 100 meters. It would just been 2 and 4. That would be it.
When pressed by Gatlin about what truly motivated him to pursue the 100 meters with such determination, Bolt made perhaps his most candid admission ever.
I've never said this before, bro. The only reason, there's no, oh, I want to be like this guy. I just never want to run the 400 meters. I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing, bro.
The 400 made him the best 100-meter runner in history.
The fear of the 400 meters. I just didn't want.
This revelation reshapes Bolt's legacy. The man who redefined speed wasn't driven by a dream of being the fastest, but by a desire to avoid 400-meter training. A year after winning his bet with Mills, he dominated the 2008 Beijing Olympics, securing gold in the 100 meters, 200 meters, and 4x100 meters relay, all in world record times. He repeated this triple-triple in 2012 and 2016, solidifying his status as the greatest sprinter ever. His 2009 world records, 9.58 seconds, 100 meters, and 19.19 seconds, 200 meters, remain untouched, all stemming from a race in Greece where 0.2 of a second changed everything.
What sort of start will he get? Well, certainly a tremendous start by Gatlin further out and Bolt into his stride now. Those two coming clear of the field now, and it's Gatlin and Bolt. And who's going to win it?
Green highlighted an alternate path.
I'm not changing.
Listen,
that blows my mind.
Your
bro.
medal count could have been so different, bro. Like, because even at 19.3 or 19.1, where you were, I feel like you could have jumped on a couple of those 4x4s. Like a real difference. Like a real difference.
The podcast hinted at a career like Michael Johnson's, who dominated both the 200 meters and 400 meters. Bolt admitted, "No matter how fast I was running, my coach always said, maybe I should change." Ironically, despite avoiding the 400 meters due to its tough training, his power and stride might have made him just as dominant, perhaps even challenging Johnson's 43.18 second world record.
Like in the start, maybe, but Jamaican team, the US team was different back in the day.
The Bahamas team too, because we won in 2012 in the 4x4.
Yeah.
The Bahamas team.
Yeah.
You can put us in there. Don't
if
do
it
that.
was close. If it was
Bolt's desire to avoid the 400 meters pushed him to redefine sprinting. His 9.58 second 100-meter world record was the biggest leap in electronic timing history. Surprisingly, as a junior, he struggled in the 100-meter, admitting, "I was so slow out of the blocks, I would never make it through the semifinals." His transformation from a lanky 200-meter runner to the greatest 100-meter sprinter, despite early technical flaws, adds another layer to his legendary story. His poor starts, which remained a relative weakness throughout his career, should have prevented him from dominating the 100 meters. Instead, his otherworldly top-end speed allowed him to overcome these disadvantages and still pull away from the most explosive starters in history. Bolt's revelation has rocked the athletics world, sparking debate on how the sport might have evolved without him in the 100 meters. His dominance reshaped sprinting, drawing unprecedented attention and setting records that today's sprinters still chase. As the world absorbs this bombshell, his legacy only grows. His historic 100-meter career, born from a desire to avoid the 400-meter, now feels almost mythical. The greatest sprinters are often described as being born for the 100 meters, possessing natural gifts that destine them for greatness in the shortest sprint. Bolt's confession turns this narrative on its head, revealing that the fastest man in history rarely ran the event that defined his legacy. As Bolt himself might say, with his characteristic smile and lightning bolt pose, anything is possible, don't think limits. This latest revelation adds to Bolt's mystique rather than diminishing it. The man who changed sprinting forever, who celebrated before crossing the line, who broke world records while battling untied shoelaces, who dominated despite poor starts, now adds another chapter to his legend. He became the greatest 100-meter sprinter of all time almost by accident, all because he won a bet.
I start struggling. I gotta try to blame that man. Have some respect, big man. And them that upset me. Them things on me hear about it, me I say, what?
The story began at Jamaica's prestigious Racers Track Club, where coach Glen Mills transformed raw talent into Olympic medalists. Blake joined the club in 2009, following Bolt's extraordinary success at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Under Mills's guidance, Blake achieved remarkable results, including silver medals in both 100 meters and 200 meters at the London Olympics. The training environment at Racers Track Club fostered multiple champions, with Mills's expertise playing a crucial role in developing world-class sprinters. These achievements made the recent criticism even more surprising to many in the track and field community.
Gentlemen, drive, field, drive. Set. We have pick up for. That can't benefit you. Yes, you pick. Not even fractionally big.
Bolt's defensive Mills came with specific examples of the coach's impact. Blake is the second fastest man in the world, while Warren won a bronze at the Olympics and silver at the World Championships, Bolt said.
Blake, second fastest man in the world. This man said, Warren win Olympic bronze medal, world champion silver medal. Yo, the man take you from hurdles because his knee was a problem. So he has to get injured. My coach stopped it from hurdles and carry go at 200 and turn in a star. Blake had come from struggling from Diego with a back problem and turn in a star. All these athletes, Bailey Cole, were turning in a star. And then now, because you decided to now not do what you were supposed to do.
He detailed how Mills adapted training methods for each athlete, including shifting Warren Weir from hurdles to the 200 meters due to knee problems. The 8-time Olympic gold medalist highlighted Mills's ability to identify and nurture talent, transforming athletes with physical limitations into international stars. These successes made the recent criticism seem particularly ungrateful in Bolt's view. But wait, there is more. The controversy deepened when Bolt revealed specific instances of athletes not following Mills's guidance. He described how Warren Weir would skip training sessions for trips to Florida, compromising his preparation. Blake's case proved equally concerning, with Bolt noting how he often ignored Mills's injury management advice. These revelations painted a picture of athletes potentially sabotaging their own success by disregarding professional guidance. The Olympic champion's detailed account suggested that any setbacks resulted from athletes' choices rather than coaching deficiencies.
Blake, second fastest man in the world. This man said, Warren win Olympic bronze medal, world champion silver medal. Yo, the man take you from hurdles because his knee was a problem. So he has to get injured. My coach stopped it from hurdles and carry go at 200 and turn in a star. Blake had come from struggling from Diego with a back problem and turn in a star. All these athletes, Bailey Cole, were turning in a star. And then now, because you decided to now not do what you were supposed to do and start struggling, I can try to blame that man. Have some respect, big man. And them, that upset me. Them things, me hear about it, me I say, what? So me just talk freely. Me I say, yo, Una would be nobody without Coach Mills. That man's a genius. Watch him man there.
Bolt's criticism extended beyond just defending Mills. It addressed a broader issue of accountability in athletics. Have some respect, big man, Bolt said, expressing his disappointment in his former teammates' behavior. He emphasized how athletes should take responsibility for their actions during training sessions instead of shifting blame to their coach. This perspective highlighted the importance of personal accountability in athletic achievement, suggesting that success requires more than just good coaching. The impact of proper training adherence became clear through Bolt's examples. He specifically addressed Blake's injury situations, noting how different decisions might have led to better outcomes. When he got injured and the coach would say, "This is the direction that I want us to go," then Johan Blake would decide that, "No, this not what I want to do," Bolt revealed. These decisions, according to the sprint legend, directly impacted Blake's career trajectory and potentially limited his achievements.
What was the fallout from that?
If I want to follow nothing, if I want to, I don't mind talk about this, because that upset me.
Like it seemed like it really genuinely.
Yeah, man, that upset me deeply.
I don't want to interview them or think them see in a video where you talk passionately.
Yeah, man, me not care. Even though me not favorite call people. That's the only thing me ever say, yo.
Yes.
Me not afraid.
Call name and
because you have to understand, me must say me dead and see this. I watch Blake come in injured. Watch Warren come in injured. Watch Bailey Cole come in injured. Much the other little two youth them, because them not deserve come in
That's
injury.
crazy, Bolt.
Me watch.
That's crazy.
But if I understand, my coach is one build me, put me for me there.
Mm-hmm. Bolt talked about how important a good coach is for an athlete. He said Mills's training helped many athletes improve and that trusting a coach is key to success. Bolt's own amazing career happened because he followed Mills's guidance. He also pointed out that athletes who didn't listen or change their training struggled to succeed.
You know, normal push, I'm step wide. When push it, go over here, somebody get nothing.
You're supposed to be in control of your foot. So if you go over there, it must get the information from headquarters.
Coach Mills's training philosophy received strong validation through Bolt's defense. The Olympic champion described Mills as a genius who understood how to develop athletes for long-term success. This assessment carried particular weight coming from track and field's most decorated sprinter. Bolt's achievements under Mills's guidance provided compelling evidence of the coach's methods, making the recent criticism seem even more misplaced.
Set. Paul ist der schnellste aus den Blöcken. Jetzt kommt er. Und jetzt ist Usain Bolt nicht zu halten. Nein, er gewinnt. 9,58 Weltrekord.
The broader impacts of this controversy extend throughout Jamaican athletics and beyond. Jamaica's sprinting dominance over the past decades owes much to coaches like Mills, whose methods helped establish the country as a global track and field powerhouse. Athletes questioning these proven methods risk undermining the system that created multiple champions. Bolt's intervention serves to protect not just Mills' reputation, but the entire framework of Jamaican sprint excellence. His words carry extra weight given his role as the country's most successful track athlete.
Ein Wahnsinn!
The timing of Blake's comments adds another layer to this situation. Coming years after his peak performances, his criticism of Mills sparked debate about athlete-coach relationships after retirement. Many athletes face challenges transitioning from their competitive careers, sometimes leading to retrospective criticism of former mentors. Bolt's swift response suggests he recognizes the danger of letting such criticisms go unchallenged, especially from athletes of Blake's stature. The exchange highlights how post-career narratives can impact current athletes' perceptions of coaching methods. The training environment at Racers Track Club deserves closer examination. Under Mills's guidance, the facility produced multiple Olympic medalists and world champions. Bolt described a structured system where success depended on following proven methods and maintaining discipline. Warren Weir's reported absences and Blake's resistance to injury management protocols contrast sharply with this professional environment. Their struggles after deviating from Mills's guidance serve as cautionary tales for current and future athletes. Statistics support Bolt's defense of Mills' methods. Blake's 9.69 seconds in the 100 meters, making him the second fastest man in history, came under Mills' guidance. Warren Weir's transformation from a hurdler with knee problems to an Olympic bronze medalist in the 200 meters demonstrates Mills' ability to adapt training for individual athletes. These achievements make the recent criticism particularly puzzling as both athletes reach their peak performances under Mills's supervision. The media's role in this controversy merits attention. Blake's comments on the Good Morning JoJo sports show gained traction quickly, forcing Bolt's response. The situation demonstrates how modern media can amplify disagreements within sports communities, potentially damaging reputations built over decades. Bolt's direct approach to addressing these comments shows awareness of how unchallenged criticisms can shape public perception. Looking ahead, this controversy could influence future athlete-coach relationships in track and field. Young athletes watching this situation unfold must balance respecting proven coaching methods with maintaining their own agency.